the Authentic Health Coaching Show. My name is Tom Corson-Knowles, founder of Authentic Health Coaching. We want to thank you so much for subscribing to our show today on iTunes, the Authentic Health Coaching Show. Don't forget to pick up your free copy of Dr. Corson's Top 5 Nutrition Tips at AuthenticHealthCoach.com. Today on the show, we interviewed an incredible woman, Gwen Lepard. She's a speaker, she's a holistic healer, she's a master Neuro Linguistics practitioner or NLP practitioner. She's an authority on joy, and she's also the best-selling co-author of the Gratitude Book Project. Gwen has over 25 years of healing experience, and she's impacted literally tens of thousands of people through her touch, her voice, words, music, and inspiration. And Gwen in this show talks about her personal story and why joy is so important in your life to your own health and well-being and just your quality of life in general. Gwen talks about a lot of the struggles that she had, especially recently, which really challenging for anyone to deal with. And she talks about how it can be so simple to add more joy in your life. Not easy necessarily, but simple if you just follow some simple strategies and get some good habits going in your life. You can find just so much more joy, happiness, fulfillment in life, and it does affect your health. We know now from literally hundreds of studies that happiness actually improves your immune function, whereas sadness, anger, and frustration, other negative emotions can actually damage your immune system and make you sicker. So joy can be so important for your health, and listen today as we talk to Gwen about joy and how simple it can be to have so much more of it in your life. So enjoy the show. Gwen, thanks so much for being with us today on the Authentic Health Coaching Show. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about, what inspired you to become an authority on joy?
Oh, wow. Well, Tom, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here. People would just constantly tell me that I had more energy and joy than anybody they ever knew. And I started working with a coach who said, the thing that you do really well that other people don't do so well, that's what you need to be doing. Because there's a reason why you do it well. And so I started looking back through my life, and I realized I'd always been a pretty happy kid, though I've been through a number of things that people would consider pretty heavy, and I always found a way to look on the positive side, and to the glass was always half full for me. And just like many people in the late 2000s, I lost everything and went through some of the worst experiences of my life. And I felt like I'd lost everything until I looked at it and went, wait a minute, I still have my health, and I am still looking at the positive, even though I've lost my house. Okay, well, I've lost my house. There's a better house out there for me. And so I realized that I still was looking at things with the glass half full. And when my coach said, your joy, if there's one word to describe you, it is joy, absolute joy. You dance with joy. You bring joy to every place you go. You have the biggest smile I've ever seen. And I heard this over and over again. It's like, okay, I get the message. I'm supposed to share joy. Now, how do I do that?
Gotcha. Well, and I think a lot of people can relate because, there's so many people right now struggling with, either they lost their home or they might lose their home. And how do you keep that joy even in the face of that?
Well, joy is the simplest form of gratitude. And if every day you are just grateful for what you have, it builds. And you find you have more things to be grateful for when you find gratitude for the things that you do have. And though I lost my home, I found a freedom in not having all of the things that you get to take care of with a home. And you have to just keep laughing, and because being joyful really, more than anything else, I have my health. I mean, you know how important that is. I mean, this is, you're an authentic health coach. You know how important it is to have your health, and I absolutely am convinced, not only from the research that I've read on happiness and laughter and humor and joy, that it's a part of the reason why I'm so well. But I recently actually had an experience with, there was this guy that was testing people's vessels to see their the blood vessels, because he had a product he was selling, and he was very unhappy when he tested mine, because I'm 52 years old and I have the blood vessels of a 17-year-old.
That's awesome.
And I feel the stress like a 19-year-old, and I absolutely know that's because I choose to live my life from joy.
Well, you know, you say you choose to live your life from joy, but what does that mean?
You know, when you're in the moment and something happens, it's responding to it in a positive way rather than just reacting. I mean, so many of us have knee-jerk reactions. Somebody pulls in front of you in the freeway, and you're all of a sudden, you know, anger flares. And instead, you just, in the moment, go, wait a minute. And you just stop. And in that moment, you consciously choose. You know, something's going on with him. Hey, I'm glad, you know, let him go first. I'm going to get where I'm going to go at exactly the right time. And you know what's really funny? I always get where I'm supposed to be at exactly the right time. Because that's what I think. You know, if you look at The Secret, where they say if you constantly are saying, I'm late, I'm going to be late, well, then you're going to be late. But if you constantly think I'm always in the right place at the right time, and hey, that guy that just pulled in front of me, he gave me those couple of seconds to be there at exactly the right time. For the perfect opportunity. It's just stopping and looking at a response that is joyful, that is accepting, instead of reacting from a place of anger or not even being conscious, just unconsciously throwing up your hands or getting angry over something that, if you choose, just that little bit of awareness, it's amazing what a difference it can make in your life.
Absolutely.
And does that answer your question?
Definitely. And you know, I think that is so important to take that time to choose your response, because so many people, you know, if someone cuts them off in traffic or they stub their toe waking up, you know, they just have a terrible day after that, kind of snowballs. And so many people now are having all these stress-related diseases like heart disease and cancer and these other things, and a lot of it is the stress that's so bad that people are holding on to the anger and that frustration and all these emotions. And, you know, I love your approach to just choosing joy and taking that time to really make the right choice for yourself, to live a happy life. Because, you know, who cares if someone cuts you off? Are you going to have a terrible life just because someone cut you off, you know?
Some people do. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see them on the freeway all the time.
Right.
Yeah, joy is actually a nonverbal language, and it speaks to all the energy around us. So when you're choosing joy, you're really talking not just to yourself, you're talking to your heart. And I don't know if you know this, but the heart is actually the first organ that's formed in our body when we're in our mommies. Our heart is the first organ formed. I was just watching a video of Greg Braden, and he was talking about that. It's that the heart that tells the brain how to form us. And we are heart-based. And what emotion is related to the heart? Joy. So if we live a joy-based life, that's why we came here. That's what we came here to do, is to live a joy-based life. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. Life's too short to not be happy, to not enjoy it. And, you know, I think if you're living with all this frustration and anger and anxiety, you're not having that joy, you're not really enjoying your life and living fully.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So how does living in joy kind of affect your health and wellness?
Well, like I said, I have the blood vessels of a 17-year-old, and I'm 52. And most people are shocked when I tell them that I'm 52, because I don't feel it, I don't act it, I don't look it, and I know that it's because over and over again I have chosen to see the glass as half full, to choose a path of joy and acceptance and gratitude and loving myself rather than beating myself up. And anytime that I'm finding myself where I'm not having gratitude and joy, and I notice that I beat myself up because I'm human, it's like, okay, wait a minute, what's happening? It affects my health almost immediately. Almost immediately. And if I'm not on track, my body tells me right away, wait a minute, you didn't choose joy there for a couple of days, and look what happened. So
absolutely.
It definitely has a lot there's all kinds of research out there on that. In fact, I bet there's some on your website.
Definitely.
Well, I actually have a process for to create joy.
Tell us about that.
Sure. So the joy process is based on the word joy. The J is for judgment. We all have them. We all think them. And we need to get rid of them. And the easiest way to get rid of a judgment is to recognize it. Recognize that you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the J. Get rid of your judgments. The O is others. Forgiveness. It's huge. It is one of the number one things that I do to keep joy in my life, is to forgive myself and forgive others.
Mm-hmm. That's huge for a lot of people.
And it's so simple. There are so many really simple techniques that you can use to forgive others and yourself. And of course, the Y is you. And forgiving and loving yourself. And both of those they're the 1-2 punch to knock out anger, frustration, any of the fear, any of those. You start forgiving and loving yourself daily, and just watch how your life changes. And putting the gratitude piece in there, forgive, love, and express gratitude for what you've got, your life absolutely change. It will be very different.
Definitely. Well, let's talk about forgiveness, because a lot of people think, if I forgive someone who, abused me as a child or did something wrong to me, that it somehow makes what they did okay.
Ooh, good question, Tom. Not forgiving someone and continuing to relive that instance of pain or abuse, it's like drinking a cup of poison and expecting that other person to die.
That's great.
I mean, that's it exactly. All you're doing is you're poisoning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we get what we focus on. So if you're focusing on the anger and it doesn't make what they did right. Absolutely not. However, I truly believe this, and this may, you may not agree with, and some people may not agree with. We choose our circumstances in life. And if you don't agree with that, you must agree with this. We choose our response to the circumstances in life. So if you're choosing to hold on to someone that really needs to be forgiven, one, you have a tie to that person that is draining your energy big time. I mean, big time. There's actually a cord that attaches you to that person. And the more you think about them and think all of whatever it is that you wish that would happen to them, that happened to you as a result of what they did to you, all that's doing is bringing that kind of energy into your life. And it's taking the energy out of your life for you to be joyful, for you to bring wonderful relationships into your life, to bring excellent health into your life, to bring the abundance that you truly deserve into your life. So what they did was wrong. How you deal with it, that's you. If you're still giving them energy and wondering why you don't have any, try forgiving them and letting it go and see what happens to your energy level.
Absolutely. That's really powerful advice. We often see people who are so kind of wrapped up in that identity that, their dad did this to them, or their business partner did this to them, or their boss laid them off, or, whatever it was. And it's like all they talk about. And it's like you don't even want to be around those people. Like, they're so negative, and you don't want that kind of, you don't feel good when you're around them.
Exactly. You feel stuck.
Exactly.
They're stuck, and that makes you feel stuck. And I know that, you don't want to be around that. And if you want to be attractive to wonderful people, I mean, then these people complain that there's no good people in the world. Try turning things around and being someone that attracts wonderful people. There are so many really, really cool, awesome, trustworthy, loving, joyful people in the world. You wouldn't believe how many people out there that really, given the chance, would greatly benefit your life if you just let go of whatever it is that you need to forgive.
Absolutely. And
and then forgive yourself too. Forgiving yourself is huge.
Yeah, so let's talk about more about that. I mean, forgive yourself. It sounds so simple. Like, how do you really do it?
Well, there's a couple of really simple tools that you can use. One is acknowledging it. So put your hand on your heart. Is there something that you'd like to forgive yourself for right now, Tom?
Not sleeping enough.
Okay, so put your hand on your heart.
Okay.
Say, I forgive myself for judging myself as not sleeping enough.
I forgive myself for judging myself as not sleeping enough.
Okay? So, what's the truth in that? The truth in that is that you're sleeping as much as you can right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the truth in it for you?
I mean, definitely that's true. I mean, I've been traveling a lot and, a lot of challenges and just been really busy. Just haven't been able to sleep as much as I wanted to. But, it's true. I think we all do the best we do, and I've definitely done the best I've done, and there's nothing to be upset about myself for.
Exactly. Now, how easy was that?
Pretty easy. I feel better already.
Another simple technique is gratitude. I mean, being grateful that you've had the challenges that you've had. Because it's real easy to be grateful for all of the wonderful things in life. It's grateful for a sunny day. It's grateful for a snow day if you live where there's snow. You can be grateful for things that are fun. And can you be grateful that your father gave you the opportunity to learn and help others because of what he did to you, if that's the case? Can you be grateful for that? And once you start finding the gratitude and the positive, because there's always two sides to the coin. What's the positive in whatever happened to you? Like losing my house, losing my garden. There's a better house, better garden coming to me. And right now I'm free to travel and to share the message of forgiveness and joy with others. And I probably wouldn't have been doing that if I still was in my home with my garden. I would have been happy to just stay there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, Gwen, thanks for sharing your amazing message with us about joy today. Where can people find out more about you?
They can find, right now, the best way to reach me is through my website, gwenlepard.com. So that's www.gwenlepard.com, www.gwenlepard.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing your message of joy with us today. And I hope a lot of people, after listening to this, will just feel a lot happier and they'll, just be smiling throughout the day.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey there, it's Tom Corson-Knowles again. Hope you enjoyed the show today with Gwen Lepard. All about joy, and I hope you're feeling more joyous right now as we speak. And wishing you an absolutely incredible day. Don't forget to come join us at AuthenticHealthCoach.com, and we're wishing you the most happiness, health, and joy. Take care.